Welcome to the 2025 CDL Hazardous Materials Practice Test. This test has 60 questions to help you prepare for this test. Before we get started, don't forget to jumpstart that like button to keep this channel running. Now here is your CDL instructor to walk you through the questions.
Question 1. If your vehicle is leaking a hazardous material, what action should you avoid taking? A. Trying to stop the leak using available tools. B. Moving the vehicle slowly to prevent further leakage. C. Requesting assistance from nearby motorists. D. Any more than safety requires. The correct answer is D. Any more than safety requires. If a hazardous material is leaking from your vehicle, you should not move the vehicle more than necessary to ensure safety. This prevents further dispersion of the material and minimizes potential risks to both you and others on the road. Question 2. For which item is loading into closed cargo spaces allowed only if packaged in fire water-resistant materials and covered with a fire water-resistant tarp? A. Flammable liquids. B. Radioactive materials. C. Explosives. D. Oxidizers. The correct answer is A. Flammable liquids. Flammable liquids should only be loaded into closed cargo spaces if they are packaged in fire water-resistant materials and covered with a fire water-resistant tarp. This safety measure is crucial to reduce the risk of fire or explosion during transportation. Flammable liquids can ignite easily, and in the event of a fire, the fire water-resistant packaging and tarp help to contain and prevent the spread of flames and potentially hazardous liquids. Question 3. When refueling a vehicle displaying hazardous materials placards, where should a person be positioned? A. At the nozzle controlling the fuel flow. B. At a distance observing the operation. C. At the pump's payment terminal. D. Inside the vehicle's cabin. The correct answer is A. At the nozzle controlling the fuel flow. During the refueling process of a placarded vehicle, it's crucial to have someone present at the nozzle controlling the fuel flow. This person can promptly stop the fueling process in case of an emergency, ensuring the safety of both the vehicle and its hazardous materials cargo. Question 4. On the hazardous materials table, what column shows the hazard warning labels shippers must put on packages of hazardous materials? A. Column 6, B. Column 1, C. Column 4, D. Column 5. The correct answer is A. Column 6. Column 6 identifies hazard warning labels with specific codes for shipping hazardous materials. Some products require use of more than one label due to more than one hazard being present. Question 5. What kind of pressure is applied when utilizing parking or emergency brakes? A. Hydraulic pressure. B. Air pressure. C. Friction pressure. D. Spring pressure. The correct answer is D. Spring pressure. When engaging parking or emergency brakes, the pressure is exerted using spring mechanisms, allowing the brakes to engage and hold the vehicle stationary even if hydraulic or air pressure is lost. Question 6. If the term prohibited is noted or typed in the hazard class column of any entry within the hazardous materials table, what is the appropriate course of action? A. The product can be transported with additional precautions. B. The product must never be transported. C. The product should be transported during daylight hours only. D. The product can be transported with proper ventilation. The correct answer is B. The product must never be transported. If the term prohibited is present in the hazard class column of an entry in the hazardous materials table, it signifies that the product must never be transported due to its high level of danger or risks associated with it. Question 7. When transporting 2,000 pounds of phosphoric acid, how far should you avoid parking from the traveled portion of the highway except during normal operations for a brief period? A. 100 feet. B. 200 feet. C. 300 feet. D. 500 feet. The correct answer is C. 300 feet. When hauling 2,000 pounds of phosphoric acid, you must not park your vehicle within 300 feet of the traveled portion of the highway, except when it is necessary for normal operations during a brief period. This safety requirement is essential to prevent any potential hazards or accidents on the road, as phosphoric acid is a hazardous material that can pose risks to public safety if not handled properly. Question 8. What information is conveyed by the transport index of a radioactive material? A. The radioactive material's expiration date. B. The degree of control needed during transportation. C. The origin and destination of the material. D. The material's radioactivity level. The correct answer is B. The degree of control needed during transportation. The transport index of a radioactive material indicates the necessary level of control and precautions required while transporting the material based on its radioactivity level. This helps ensure safe handling and transportation of radioactive substances. Question 9. Is it accurate that the driver must immediately clean up any leaking hazardous material they come across? A. True. B. False. C. Partially true. D. Sometimes true. The correct answer is B. False. No, the statement is not true. If a driver discovers leaking hazardous material, they should not immediately attempt to clean it up. Instead, they should follow proper procedures, such as notifying authorities, taking safety precautions, and waiting for trained personnel to handle the cleanup to prevent potential risks and hazards. Question 10. What information is provided for each item description on a shipping paper? A. The shipping method for the item. B. The quantity of the item being shipped. C. The materials hazard class of the item. D. The destination address for the item. The correct answer is C. The materials hazard class of the item. On a shipping paper, each item description includes the materials hazard class of the item being shipped. The hazard class categorizes the material based on its potential risks and hazards during transportation. This information is vital for ensuring proper handling, storage, and transportation of hazardous materials, as it helps individuals involved in the shipping process to understand the potential dangers and take appropriate safety measures. The shipping paper serves as a crucial document for authorities and those handling the materials to ensure compliance with regulations and protect public safety. Question 11. Is it accurate that you should not stack nitric acid in heights exceeding 2 feet during loading? A. True. B. False. C. Partially true. D. Sometimes true. The correct answer is A. True. Yes, it is true that stacking nitric acid beyond a height of 2 feet during loading is not recommended. Proper storage and handling practices for hazardous materials like nitric acid help prevent spills, leaks, and potential hazards associated with improper stacking or handling. Question 12. What is the maximum distance you are allowed to park a vehicle carrying hazardous materials from an open fire? A. 100 feet. B. 200 feet. C. 300 feet. D. 500 feet. The correct answer is C. 300 feet. Vehicles transporting hazardous materials must be parked at a distance of no more than 300 feet from an open fire to ensure safety and minimize the risk of fire or explosion related to the hazardous materials. Question 13. While inspecting a vehicle carrying hazardous cargo, where should the shipping papers be placed to ensure visibility? A. Inside the glove compartment. B. On the dashboard, visible through the windshield. C. Under the driver's seat, easily accessible. D. In the side door pocket, within reach of the driver. The correct answer is B. On the dashboard, visible through the windshield. When inspecting a vehicle carrying hazardous cargo, the shipping papers must be placed on the dashboard where they are clearly visible through the windshield. This placement ensures that relevant authorities, such as law enforcement or inspectors, can easily verify the nature of the cargo being transported and check for compliance with hazardous materials regulations. Question 14. What must be included in the written instructions for a driver to transfer Class A and B explosives? A. The driver's contact information and driving history. B. The vehicle's registration and insurance details. C. The emergency response procedures and contact information. D. The handling and storage instructions for the explosives. The correct answer is C. The emergency response procedures and contact information. When transferring Class A and B explosives, the written instructions provided to the driver must include the emergency response procedures and contact information. Class A and B explosives are highly hazardous materials, and it is crucial to be prepared for any potential emergencies or accidents that may occur during transportation. By having clear instructions and emergency contact details readily available, the driver and relevant authorities can quickly respond to and manage any hazardous situations. These written instructions play a vital role in ensuring the safe handling, transportation, and containment of explosives, helping to protect public safety and minimize risks associated with these materials. Question 15. Classify battery acid under the appropriate hazardous material class or division. A. Class 2, gases. B. Class 5, oxidizers. C. Class 8, corrosive materials. D. Class 9, miscellaneous hazardous materials. The correct answer is C. Class 8, corrosive materials. Battery acid is classified under Class 8, corrosive materials. It is a highly corrosive substance that can cause severe damage to skin, eyes, and other materials upon contact. Class 8 includes substances that have corrosive properties and can cause harm through chemical reactions. Battery acid's corrosive nature places it under Class 8 in the Hazardous Materials Classification System. Question 16. Which of these is the primary entry to be recorded first on the shipping documents? A. The proper shipping name. B. The UN identification number. C. The emergency contact details. D. The recipient's address. The correct answer is A. The proper shipping name. The initial entry on shipping papers should be the proper shipping name of the hazardous material being transported. This name provides crucial information about the nature of the material and ensures accurate communication of its identity. Question 17. Who determines a product's hazard class and packing group? A. Carrier. B. Driver. C. Receiver. D. Shipper. The correct answer is D. Shipper. The shipper also determines the product's ID number before sending from one place to another. Even though it is the shipper's responsibility to determine product's ID number, the driver and receiver must also confirm all information is correct. Question 18. What statement is not correct regarding placard placement? A. A total of 2 placards must appear on each side of the vehicle. B. Words and numbers placards need to be level and read from left to right. C. Kept clear of attachments or devices such as ladders or doors. D. Must be 3 inches away from any other markings. The correct answer is A. A total of 2 placards must appear on each side of the vehicle. Most often, 4 placards are required for a hazardous material shipment. A placard must appear on each side of the vehicle and must also appear on the front and back of the vehicle. The shipper is required to supply the driver with the placards with the required identification numbers. Question 19. Classify gasoline under the appropriate hazardous material class or division. A. Class 1, explosives. B. Class 2, gases. C. Class 3, flammable liquids. D. Class 6, toxic substances. The correct answer is C. Class 3, flammable liquids. Gasoline falls under Class 3, flammable liquids. It is highly flammable and poses a significant fire hazard. Class 3 includes liquids with a flash point below 60.5 degrees Celsius, 141 degrees Fahrenheit, and a boiling point at or above 35 degrees Celsius, 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Gasoline's properties make it a Class 3 hazardous material during transportation. Question 20. When your vehicle is loaded with Class A explosive materials, where is parking permitted for the vehicle? A. Any designated parking spot. B. In a designated truck stop area. C. Only in approved explosive materials storage facilities. D. Parking is strictly prohibited for vehicles carrying Class A explosives. The correct answer is D. Parking is strictly prohibited for vehicles carrying Class A explosives. When your vehicle is loaded with Class A explosive materials, parking is strictly prohibited. Class A explosives are the most hazardous type of explosive materials, and their transportation demands the highest level of safety and security measures. Stopping or parking the vehicle in any location other than approved explosive materials storage facilities poses significant risks and dangers to public safety, property, and the environment. Therefore, it is crucial to strictly adhere to the prohibition on parking when transporting Class A explosive materials. Question 21. When the driver is not behind the wheel, where should shipping and emergency response papers be kept? A. Glove box. B. On the dash. C. Driver's door pouch or on the driver's seat. D. Middle console. The correct answer is C. Driver's door pouch or on the driver's seat. Hazardous material and shipping papers should be easily distinguished from other paperwork and must be easily recognized. In the event the driver becomes unconscious, it is important that emergency personnel can access emergency information quickly and easily. Question 22. What are the dimensions of a hazardous materials placard? A. 8 inches by 8 inches. B. 10 inches by 10 inches. C. 12 inches by 12 inches. D. 14 inches by 14 inches. The correct answer is C. 12 inches by 12 inches. A hazardous materials placard typically measures 12 inches by 12 inches in size. Placards are displayed on vehicles transporting hazardous materials to alert the public, emergency responders, and other drivers about the presence of hazardous materials and the associated risks. The standardized size ensures that the placards are easily visible and recognizable, helping to improve safety and proper handling during transportation. Question 23. Out of the 3 available lists used by drivers, shippers, and carriers to determine whether a substance falls under regulated products, which one is included? A. Inventory of controlled substances. B. List of prohibited goods. C. Register of dangerous materials. D. List of hazardous substances and reportable quantities. The correct answer is D. List of hazardous substances and reportable quantities. One of the 3 lists utilized to identify regulated materials is the List of Hazardous Substances and Reportable Quantities. This assists in recognizing materials subject to hazardous materials regulations and reporting requirements. Question 24. Is it correct that a written route plan is required when transporting Division 1.1 explosives? A. True. B. False. C. Sometimes true. D. Partially true. The correct answer is A. True. Yes, it is true that when transporting Division 1.1 explosives, a written route plan is mandatory. This plan helps ensure that the transportation process is carefully planned and follows the safest route possible to minimize risks associated with transporting hazardous materials. Question 25. Identify the correct hazardous material class or division for white phosphorus. A. Class 1, explosives. B. Class 3, flammable liquids. C. Class 4, flammable solids. D. Class 6, toxic substances. The correct answer is C, Class 4, flammable solids. White phosphorus belongs to Class 4, flammable solids. It is a pyrophoric material, meaning it ignites spontaneously in air at or below room temperature. Due to its flammable properties, it is classified under Class 4 in the Hazardous Materials Classification System. Question 26. An AW on the hazardous material table means A. The material has no restrictions. B. The material must be shipped by water. C. The material is only restricted when shipped by and/or water. D. The material has no restrictions when transported by air. The correct answer is C. The material is only restricted when shipped by and/or water. The letter A is used for hazardous material that pose a health and physical hazard or a harm to the environment. The letter W is used when restrictions are only applicable when transported by vessel or water. Question 27. What does it signify if the word forbidden appears in the hazardous materials class column of an entry in the hazardous materials table? A. The material is allowed for transportation under specific conditions. B. The material is prohibited for transportation under any circumstances. C. The material can be transported without any restrictions or regulations. D. The material is allowed for transportation but requires special handling. The correct answer is B. The material is prohibited for transportation under any circumstances. If the word forbidden appears in the hazardous materials class column of an entry in the hazardous materials table, it means that the material is strictly prohibited for transportation under any circumstances. This indicates that the material is considered too hazardous or dangerous to be transported safely, and it is not allowed to be shipped by any means of transport. Question 28. What is the appropriate approach for handling railroad crossings if your vehicle is placarded? A. Slow down and proceed with caution without stopping. B. Come to a complete stop and wait for the railroad signal to turn green. C. Speed up to clear the railroad crossing quickly. D. Always change lanes before crossing the railroad tracks. The correct answer is A. Slow down and proceed with caution without stopping. When your vehicle is placarded, indicating that it is transporting hazardous materials, the appropriate way to handle railroad crossings is to slow down and proceed with caution without stopping, if it is safe to do so. Stopping on railroad tracks is extremely dangerous, especially if your vehicle carries hazardous materials. Instead, maintain a slow and steady pace while crossing the tracks, ensuring there is enough space between your vehicle and the tracks to avoid any potential incidents or collisions. Question 29. What is true about a portable tank? A. It cannot be removed from a vehicle. B. It is made to be more durable than other tanks. C. It can be removed from a vehicle. D. It is usually smaller than other tanks. The correct answer is C. It can be removed from a vehicle. Products are loaded and unloaded while a portable tank is off a vehicle. After the vehicle is loaded and unloaded, it is then attached to the vehicle for transportation. Question 30. Federal regulations require that hazardous material employers train their employees at least once every blank. A. 180 days. B. 5 years. C. 1 year. D. 3 years. The correct answer is D. 3 years. Continued training is important to keep employees up to date and refresh information. Training must include familiarization, function-specific, safety, security awareness, in-depth security training, and driver training. Question 31. When transporting chlorine, how much of it in gallons requires you to stop before crossing a railroad grade? A. More than 50 gallons. B. Any amount. C. Over 100 gallons. D. Less than 25 gallons. The correct answer is B. Any amount, no matter the quantity. If you're carrying chlorine, it's essential to stop before crossing a railroad grade. This precaution is necessary due to the hazardous nature of chlorine, ensuring safety for both the driver and others on the road. Question 32. What kind of tank is used to carry liquids and gases and include appurtenances, reinforcements, fittings, and closures? A. Vessel. B. Barge. C. Cargo. D. Fabricated. The correct answer is C. Cargo. Even though cargo tanks mainly transport liquids and gases, they may also be used for a solid. A cargo tank attached to a motor vehicle is loaded or unloaded without being removed from the vehicle. Question 33. What action is required when the shipping papers contain the phrase inhalation hazard? A. Use poison placards along with any other required placards. B. Use hazard-specific placards required by the product. C. Ignore the shipping papers and follow standard placarding. D. Remove all placards from the shipment. The correct answer is A. Use poison placards along with any other required placards. When the shipping papers indicate inhalation hazard, it is mandatory to use poison placards in addition to any other placards required by the specific product being transported. Inhalation hazard refers to the potential risk of inhaling harmful substances from the hazardous materials, and using the appropriate placards helps communicate this danger to others on the road and emergency responders. Employing poison placards, in conjunction with other necessary placards, ensures that the hazardous nature of the cargo is adequately conveyed and helps maintain safety standards during transportation. This practice is essential for compliance with regulations and the safe handling of hazardous materials. Question 34. Which signals can be employed to alert others of a stationary vehicle carrying flammable liquid? A. Horn honking and flashing hazard lights. B. Using hand signals and waving a flag. C. Turning on the high beams and tail lights. D. Activating the windshield wipers and headlights. The correct answer is A. Horn honking and flashing hazard lights. When a vehicle carrying flammable liquid is stopped, it is crucial to warn others to prevent potential accidents or hazards. The most appropriate signals to use in such a situation are to honk the horn and activate the hazard lights. Honking the horn alerts nearby drivers and pedestrians, while the flashing hazard lights serve as a clear visual warning, indicating a potential danger on the road. These actions can help increase awareness and give other road users sufficient time to react and proceed with caution. Question 35. Which type of hazardous materials should not be loaded in the same vehicle with animal and foodstuffs? A. Flammable liquids. B. Corrosive materials. C. Explosives. D. Poisons. The correct answer is D. Poisons. Animal and foodstuffs should not be transported in the same vehicle with poisons to prevent potential contamination or harm. This separation ensures the safety of both the cargo and the environment. Question 36. Is it accurate that you should slightly move the explosives to stabilize the load before separating two vehicles carrying explosives that have been in a collision? A. True. B. False. C. Partially true. D. Sometimes true. The correct answer is B. False. No, it is not true that you should move the explosives just enough to stabilize the load before pulling apart two vehicles carrying explosives that have been in a collision. Moving the explosives can increase the risk of ignition or further hazards. It's essential to follow specific safety protocols and guidelines when dealing with hazardous materials. Question 37. When the vehicle is loaded with a flammable liquid, how many feet away from the vehicle are you, as the driver, allowed to smoke? A. 25 feet. B. 50 feet. C. 100 feet. D. 200 feet. The correct answer is C. 100 feet. As the driver of a vehicle loaded with a flammable liquid, you are not permitted to smoke within 100 feet of the vehicle. This safety regulation is in place to minimize the risk of ignition or accidental fires, as flammable liquids can pose a significant hazard if exposed to an open flame or heat source like a cigarette. Question 38. The blank placard is a white triangle with a fish and an X through the fish. A. Toxic. B. Corrosive. C. Poison. D. Marine pollutant. The correct answer is D. Marine pollutant. Placards that are white triangles with X through the fish are used for any bulk package that is a pollutant of marine life. Question 39. Is it accurate that you should halt and inspect your tires at intervals of every 2 hours or 100 miles? A. True. B. False. C. Sometimes true. D. Partially true. The correct answer is A. True. Yes, it is true that for the safe transportation of hazardous materials, you should stop and check your tires every 2 hours or 100 miles to ensure their proper condition and mitigate the risk of potential issues while on the road. Question 40. What is not a professional driver's responsibility at the scene of an accident? A. Communicate with any media at the scene to ensure correct information is reported. B. Limit the spread of material only if safe to do so. C. Provide emergency responders with the shipping papers and emergency response information. D. Keep people away from the scene. The correct answer is A. Communicate with any media at the scene to ensure correct information is reported. In the event of an accident, the first step is to isolate and evacuate people away from hazardous material. The driver should limit the spread of the material as long as it is safe to do so. The driver should make sure that emergency responders are provided information needed in the shipping papers and emergency response information. The driver should not speak with the media and instead focus on keeping the scene safe. Question 41. Identification numbers used to identify hazardous materials have how many digits? A. 4. B. 3. C. 5. D. 2. The correct answer is A. 4. Hazardous material. 4-digit identification numbers identify dangerous goods and hazardous substances. Identification numbers should never be abbreviated on shipping papers. Question 42. When transporting compressed gas, cylinders must blank. A. Be held upright or braced, laying flat down. B. In racks attached to the vehicle. C. In boxes that keep them from turning over. D. All the above. The correct answer is D. All the above. Platforms or cradles keep cylinders secure and in an upright position. Never drag or pull the cylinder horizontally. Cryogenic liquid is also included in the safety guidelines for transporting compressed gas. Question 43. How many sides of a vehicle placarded for hazardous material must display placards? A. 2. B. 4. C. 3. D. 5. The correct answer is B. 4. A vehicle carrying hazardous materials that require placards must have these placards displayed on all 4 sides of the vehicle. This ensures proper identification and communication of the hazardous nature of the cargo from all angles. Question 44. Is it accurate that the labels found on packages containing hazardous materials are diamond-shaped? A. True. B. False. C. Partially true. D. Sometimes true. The correct answer is A. True. Yes, the labels used to indicate hazardous materials on packages are typically diamond-shaped. These diamond-shaped labels contain information about the type of hazard the material poses, helping to communicate the potential risks associated with the contents of the package. Question 45. While conducting an en route inspection, what action should you take if you find an overheated tire? A. Continue driving but at a reduced speed. B. Sprinkle water on the tire to cool it down. C. Immediately stop and replace the tire. D. Remove the tire and place it far away from the vehicle. The correct answer is D. Remove the tire and place it far away from the vehicle. When you encounter an overheated tire during an en route inspection, the best course of action is to remove the tire from the vicinity of the vehicle. Placing it far away helps prevent any potential fire hazards and allows the tire to cool down safely. Question 46. What is required when dealing with packages of explosives? A. Wear a high visibility vest for visibility. B. Have a fire extinguisher nearby at all times. C. Use proper handling and safety measures. D. Notify the nearest shipping office immediately. The correct answer is C. Use proper handling and safety measures. When handling packages of explosives, it is essential to follow proper handling and safety measures. Explosives are extremely dangerous materials that require careful attention to prevent accidents and ensure the safety of everyone involved. Using proper handling techniques includes following specific protocols for loading, unloading, and securing the packages, as well as taking necessary precautions to avoid impacts, shocks, or temperature fluctuations that could lead to detonation. Adhering to safety measures, such as using specialized equipment, wearing appropriate personal protective equipment, PPE, and maintaining a safe distance from other hazardous materials significantly reduces the risk of accidents and ensures the safe transportation and handling of explosives. Question 47. Where can regulated products be found listed? A. In the Hazardous Materials Table only. B. In the Regulated Products Table only. C. In both the Hazardous Materials Table and the Regulated Products Table. D. Regulated products are not listed in any specific tables. The correct answer is C. In both the Hazardous Materials Table and the Regulated Products Table. Regulated products are listed in two important tables: the Hazardous Materials Table and the Regulated Products Table. These tables are essential references for identifying and handling hazardous materials in accordance with regulations. It is crucial for drivers and handlers of hazardous materials to be aware of the contents of both tables to ensure compliance with safety protocols and regulations associated with these products. Question 48. When inhalation hazard appears on the shipping papers, what placards are required? A. Poison gas. B. Flammable gas. C. Toxic gas. D. Liquid gas. The correct answer is A. Poison gas. In addition to other placards, poison inhalation hazard or poison gas placards are to be used. Poison gas can cause serious harm or death if not treated according to regulations. Question 49. How many sides of a vehicle placarded for hazardous materials must display placards? A. 2. B. 3. C. 4. D. 5. The correct answer is C. 4. A vehicle carrying hazardous materials that require placards must have these placards displayed on all four sides of the vehicle. This ensures that the hazardous nature of the cargo is clearly communicated to other road users from all directions. Question 50. In order to pass the test for hazardous material endorsement on a CDL, you must know A. How to identify hazardous materials. B. Safely load shipments. C. Properly placard your vehicle in accordance with the rules. D. All the above. The correct answer is D. All the above. In order to pass the hazardous material endorsement test, you must answer at least 24 questions correctly. All information needed to pass the test is found in the Hazmat Manual. Drivers must know how to recognize, handle, and transport hazardous materials. Question 51. Where are placards required to be displayed on a placarded vehicle? A. Only on the front and rear. B. Only on the rear and both sides. C. Only on the front, rear, and one side. D. On the front, rear, and both sides. The correct answer is D. On the front, rear, and both sides. For a placarded vehicle carrying hazardous materials, it is a requirement to display placards on the front, rear, and both sides of the vehicle. Placards are large, diamond-shaped signs that indicate the presence of hazardous materials and their respective hazard class. By placing placards on all these sides, it ensures that the hazardous nature of the cargo is easily identifiable from various angles, which is crucial for public safety and emergency response. Adhering to this regulation helps alert other drivers, emergency responders, and the general public to take appropriate precautions and responses when they encounter a hazardous materials transport vehicle on the road. Question 52. When does a symbol blank indicate materials may not be loaded, transported, or stored together in the same vehicle or stage facility? A. Highlighted. B. Italics. C. With an X. D. Both A and C. The correct answer is C. With an X. X is packing group I and is the highest degree of danger. An X indicates the materials marked may not be loaded, transported, or stored in the same vehicle or storage facility. Question 53. What is the maximum allowable total transport index of all packages in a single vehicle when transporting radioactive material? A. 1.0, B. 5.0, C. 10.0, D. It varies depending on the type of radioactive material. The correct answer is C. 10.0. When transporting radioactive material, the total transport index, TI, of all packages in a single vehicle must not exceed 10.0. The transport index is a measure of the radiation level at a specific distance from the external surface of the package. It ensures that the overall radiation exposure during transportation remains within safe limits for the public and those handling the packages. Question 54. Regarding refusing shipment of leaking packages, who holds the responsibilities for this action? A. The carrier company receiving the shipment. B. The shipper sending the hazardous materials. C. The local law enforcement at the destination. D. The receiver of the shipment. The correct answer is A. The carrier company receiving the shipment. The carrier company that receives the shipment holds the responsibilities for refusing packages that are leaking. It is the carrier's duty to inspect and ensure the safe transportation of hazardous materials. If any packages are found to be leaking or damaged, the carrier company must refuse the shipment and take appropriate actions to address the situation, such as contacting the shipper for repackaging or proper disposal. Question 55. Is it accurate that a shipment of hazardous materials is solely described by Hazardous Materials Transportation Papers? A. True. B. False. C. Partially true. D. Sometimes true. The correct answer is B. False. No, a shipment of hazardous materials is not exclusively described by Hazardous Materials Transportation Papers. While these papers provide essential information about the shipment, the proper labeling, placarding, and packaging of the materials also contribute to accurately describing and identifying the hazardous nature of the contents during transportation. Question 56. What is the maximum permissible total transport index for all packages in a single vehicle? A. 10. B. 25. C. 50. D. 75. The correct answer is C. 50. The highest allowable total transport index for all packages within a single vehicle is 50. This index accounts for the combined radioactivity of the transported materials and helps ensure safe handling and transportation. Question 57. What does it indicate when an entry on a shipping paper is bold, highlighted, or printed in another color? A. The item is non-hazardous and safe for transportation. B. Special handling instructions are required for the item. C. The item is exempt from shipping regulations. D. The entry is for administrative purposes only and has no significance. The correct answer is B. Special handling instructions are required for the item. When an entry on a shipping paper is bold, highlighted, or printed in another color, it signifies that special handling instructions are required for the item being transported. These visual cues draw attention to the specific entry, indicating that the material may have unique characteristics, hazards, or handling requirements that need to be strictly followed during transportation. Question 58. If a vehicle transporting explosives collides with an object, when is it safe to move the object away? A. After notifying the authorities. B. As soon as possible to clear the road. C. The explosives have been removed and placed at least 200 feet away. D. Once the vehicle is repaired. The correct answer is C. The explosives have been removed and placed at least 200 feet away. After a collision involving a vehicle carrying explosives, you must refrain from moving the struck object until the explosives have been removed and relocated at a safe distance of at least 200 feet. This measure helps minimize the risk of ignition or further danger. Question 59. What is the primary action to take during a hazardous materials emergency? A. Document the incident. B. Warn others of the danger. C. Evacuate the area immediately. D. Contact local news agencies. The correct answer is B. Warn others of the danger. During a hazardous materials emergency, the most crucial step is to warn others of the danger. This is essential for ensuring the safety of individuals in the vicinity. Alerting people to potential hazards enables them to take necessary precautions, helping to prevent exposure to hazardous materials and reducing the risk of harm. Question 60. When your vehicle contains explosives, oxidizers, or flammables, what is the minimum distance within which smoking is prohibited? A. 25 feet. B. 50 feet. C. 100 feet. D. 200 feet. The correct answer is B. 50 feet. When your vehicle is transporting explosives, oxidizers, or flammable materials, it is crucial to maintain safety measures to prevent potential accidents or fires. No one should smoke within a minimum distance of 50 feet from the vehicle. This restriction helps reduce the risk of ignition and keeps any potential sources of flames at a safe distance from the hazardous materials.
Hope you enjoyed this video. If you still need more practice, then check out these videos or click the first link in the description to get your cheat sheet, which will help you pass your CDL exam on your first try.